I'm Joan Landis. All right, the next step in alleviating anxiety is now you take that list and we're going to make another similar type of list. And we want you to now make a list of from the least triggering to the very most triggering. And we want you to start doing this in real life. Okay? So this is going to take more time. But if you have diligently practiced the mental games, then the real life games are going to be a lot easier, okay? And so but we want you to take a lot more time with this. Don't push through and hurry on this one, okay? Because even the stress of pushing can generate some emotional reaction. So say that you have, it makes, you feel a lot of anxiety when you're with big groups of people. Okay, or maybe public speaking in front of groups of people, right? So what you would do is you'd make a hierarchy or a list of the least to the most triggering. And so maybe the one on the bottom is, talk to more than 2 people at the same time. Okay, so you make that list. Next one says talk to 5 people at the same time. Okay. And talk to 10 people at the same time. Okay. Sit up on a stage in front of people. Or just walk up on a stage after all the crowd has left, right? Just walk up on the stage. Now, stand up on the podium in an empty room. Just stand there and do your coping skills, your breathing, your guided imagery. And then maybe you practice with family members in front of you, right? So just a couple family members sitting there, and you're behind the podium, and you just say a few words. And then you do all your coping skills. And then the next time is maybe you have some coworkers that are sitting there. And you do that same thing and do your coping skills and your self-validation, you got this. And then finally, you have a well-prepared speech so you feel very, very secure. And you have it in front of a larger crowd of people. And then probably the most stressful is what I do every day is just shoot from the hip. Right? You're just in front of a crowd of people and you're just talking. And so, that can be a little more stressful too for some people. So, and then what you do is make sure you are validating and you have support system and, you have people saying, hey, you're doing great, keep going, this is awesome. That you will find that you will gradually be able to master this stuff more and more as time goes by. It's really kind of the concept is easy, the execution takes a little more time and care. Now, what happens if you are, you overface yourself? With horses jumping and a stadium jumping, we call it overfacing when you're asking them to jump a jump that's too tall for them. They don't have the strength or training yet, and that's called overfacing a horse. And so sometimes we overface ourselves. So what does a horse do? Well, he might crash through the jump and then never want to even go close to that jump again, right? He's traumatized, right? We don't want you to be re-traumatized. That's not what we want. So don't overface yourself. If you're not feeling really secure and safe at step number 3, do not go to step number 4 yet, okay? Maybe make a step 3.5, all right? And play around with that one until you feel really secure, and then go to 4, right? So just make sure you're very, very comfortable before you move on. If you're not comfortable, kind of figure out what it is. Play around with it some more. Expose yourself a little more to that trigger. And just give yourself more time and more practice with it. And generally, if you are using your healthy coping mechanisms, you're not telling yourself all these terrible things. You arrange that you're not getting traumatized and shamed and embarrassed or bitten by an angry dog or whatever it is, that as long as you're not re-traumatized, the human, actually it's the animal part of your body really has to start not paying attention to it anymore, okay? Because otherwise, if we're on high hypervigilant alert for everything every time in our whole life, we'll go nuts. So our mind definitely starts saying, ranking the threats and saying, what do we have to pay attention to? What can we ignore? And so eventually your mind will start ignoring some of this stuff and just like, oh, that's no big deal. So those are some cautions for you. Just be very methodical and just notice where you are. Do not push yourself and make sure you're very safe before you go on to that next step. But you will find that you will be able to master very, very, very much more than you ever did in the past, and you'll feel really, really resilient, and it's a really exciting thing. So get on the forums, tell us how it works, what you're facing, what was tricky for you, and we'll share that. Thanks. Bye-bye.